Hi everyone, I'm Sarah. Welcome to Medicine for the Soul. Today's third trimester practice is labor, breath, and movement. So you'll need all your usual props. Let's get started. Welcome to breath and movement for labor. We're gonna set up like this. So if you have your folded blanket, bring that onto your mat and a couple of blocks, or you could even use cushions for our purposes today for settling in. So let's sit on the edge of the blanket, just elevating a little bit, helping our pelvis be upright. And actually, let's bring our soles of the feet together and bring some support underneath as well. We're just gonna settle in here. Subtle stretch. Just kind of sink into your mat. Let's roll our shoulders back and down. Your hands can come to your ankles. They can come to heart center. You can have one hand on your heart, one hand on your baby. And find a breath that works for you. Maybe it's in and out through your nose. Maybe it's your Ujjayi breath. Maybe it's, in our previous practice, exhaling as you squeeze gently the sides of your belly together. Just find a rhythm here. Crown of the head reaching towards the ceiling. Push your chin back slightly. Relax your forehead, relax your jaw. Let's take one more breath wherever you are. And you can flutter your eyes open after your exhale. Just come to lean forward a little bit, just slightly. Still keeping that long spine, just getting in a little bit deeper to the stretch. And you can come back to an upright position. Set your blocks off to the side. Probably at the top of your mat is where we're going to need them next. Extend your right leg out to the right. Inhale, left arm up. Exhale, reach over to the right and gaze left. Nice deep breath into your side body here. And back to center on an exhale. Switching sides. Inhale, right arm up. And exhale, reach over to the left, gazing right. What we're gonna be focused on today is finding a rhythm to your breath and movement in postures and movements that are good for early labor, and then I'll go into, you can come back to center. I'll show you guys a side lying position that is comfortable for labor, but also comfortable for pushing. It's a nice, easy setup. So we'll go from there, cross your ankles, or if it's more comfortable to have your soles of your feet together, you can remain that way. We're gonna come into some seated circles. So inhale in the center, nice tall spine, and exhale, coming down, around, and up. Some nice gentle movements today. It's not going to be too flowy. And switch directions. And come back to your upright position. We're going to transfer to all fours. So if you like to have your knees on the blanket, you can keep it there, or you can set it off to the side. Fingers spread nice and wide, pushing the mat away from you. We're just going to do 3 rounds of cat-cow. So inhale, lifting the tailbone slightly, gazing forward. And exhale, giving your baby a squeeze, gazing towards your belly button. Inhale. And exhale. This is a great movement to do all the time. Inhale, but it's great in those last few weeks of pregnancy as well. And exhale. Now let's come into a child's pose. Bringing your knees nice and wide. Again, modifications for this are just being propped up on a couple of blocks. This is a great position to be in for those early labor pain and contraction. Really opens everything up and gives you some relief. So nice deep breaths in and out through the nose. Or if your baby is overdue, some of these positions are going to be helpful as well, getting them down the canal a little bit. Let's take one more breath here. And lift your forehead off of the mat, coming back into all fours. Coming back up onto all fours, extending your right leg back, keeping your toes tucked. This is a great opportunity to practice finding a rhythm with your breath and movement. We're going to just rock back slightly, keeping this a whole body experience here. So inhale, coming back forward, and exhale, a little calf stretch. And one more breath here. And bring your knee back to the mat. Switching sides, extending your left leg back, keeping your toes tucked. This isn't necessarily a labor position, but we are preparing for another position here. So if you have those calf spasms though, this is really helpful. So pushing the mat away from you, filling that space between your shoulder blades, finding some rhythm here with your breath and the rocking back and forth. I remember my wrists really hurting both times during pregnancy, so if you would like to use your blocks, forearms on your block, go right ahead. Let's do one more breath here. And bringing your knee back to the mat, we're going to come to an upright position. I'm going to face you, but you can stay right where you are and grab our blocks. Let's just start out with them on the highest setting here and bring your hands to your blocks, gazing down. Bring your right leg out to the right, toes pointing towards the ceiling. And you can flex and point. And bring your foot so your toes are pointing towards the ceiling, and you can even just lean back a little bit, come forward. Maybe you want to come into a little teeny baby circle, nothing crazy. kind of seeing what feels good for you. And bring your right knee back to the mat, switching sides. Left foot, heel on the mat, toes to the ceiling, and you can point and flex, gazing diagonally down. Nice long spine still. I know posture is not perfect towards the end there. And then finding some movements that work for you here. Maybe it's leaning side to side, bending your knee. Maybe it's some circles, little teeny baby circles. The whole time still just pushing the blocks away from you. We're filling that space between our shoulder blades. All right, and bring your left knee back to the mat. We're going to take our blocks now. We're going to come to sit on them for a squat, a wide squat. So if you need two, that's great. If you can balance on one, that's great too. Or if you don't want to use your blocks, you don't have to. Just make sure you feel stable enough to do that. So sits bones on your blocks, toes pointing out. You can bring your hands to heart center so that your elbows help push your knees out. And sitting nice and tall, I'm gonna practice here some sounds that are very helpful for during contractions, during a painful, anything painful, which you will definitely encounter during your labor and birthing process. So it's a low moan. It's like kind of animalistic, and you can play around with this, but the low tone, the low vibration is helping push the energy in your body down, which is exactly the movement we want when giving birth. And so you'll hear a lot, like in movies or whatever, when people are giving birth, they tend to go, ah! And so this is kind of keeping everything tight. It's drawing energy up. And what we want to do is relax our muscles and draw the energy down. So you can keep your mouth open or closed, but it is an in-breath through the mouth, and then just a low moaning or a low hum on the out breath. I found this extremely helpful with the birth of my son when going through a contraction. I just closed my eyes, I tuned everyone else out, and I just kind of hummed my way through labor. So let's try it here. In through the nose and out. One more time, in through the nose. You can open your eyes if they're closed, and so you can kind of feel, even though you're not in labor, you can feel that energy going down, the vibrations relaxing the muscles. We want to avoid the high-pitched noises and invite those low vibrations into our birthing room to help us bring the baby down and relax our muscles. So we'll just stay here for a moment or two, just kind of opening up the hips. And one more breath here. And you can kind of rock, you can point your toes forward and kind of rock forward onto your hands and bring yourself slowly up. So you're in a wide-legged forward fold. Let's bring our blocks again on the tallest setting. And just kind of rock back and forth here. So inhale in the center, exhale, lean over to the left or whatever side you're on. And exhale, bend the knee. Again, finding a breath and a rhythm here. Just getting in tune with your body. Let's do 2 more breaths here. And coming back to center and gently putting your blocks off to the side or pushing off of them and kind of helping you come up to a standing and heel toe your feet together. I'm gonna reposition myself, but at the top of your mat. And let's inhale, arms up, and exhale into a forward fold. Hands are gonna come to the mat in a down dog, stepping both of your feet back, and you can pedal your feet out. You can do whatever feels good here. Maybe you wanna shake your head out. And then we'll come to bring our feet nice and wide. If you remember from the previous practice, we're going to, on the inhale, bend your knees, send your hips up and back, and exhale, straighten out. We'll do that 2 more times. Inhale, and exhale. Inhale, and exhale. Bringing your knees to the mat. We're coming back into all fours. Fingers spread nice and wide, and inhale for a little baby cow, chest beaming forward, tailbone lifting slightly, and on the exhale we're going to rock backwards as we tuck our tailbone and bring our seat back towards our heels. Inhale, coming back up, and exhale. If you want to engage your Ujjayi breath here, or if you would like to practice those low hums here. On the exhale, we're coming back. This is a great early labor movement. So we're working on getting the baby to come down a little further. Finding that rhythm with your breath. It's helpful to even just close your eyes while you do this. I think I had my eyes closed both times, almost the entire time that I gave birth with my son and my daughter. It's just nice to escape, kind of be in your own world. You can even do some visualization. We'll do 2 more breaths here. One. And 2. Coming back up onto all fours, bringing your knees closer together, tucking your toes, and bringing your seat back onto your toes for toes pose. And now here is really where you can kind of practice your low moaning breath or your Ujjayi breath while you're in this position where you feel very uncomfortable. So just kind of breathing through that, practicing breath through uncomfortability. You can have your hands at heart center or on your baby, whatever feels good. And so if you're not familiar with Ujjayi breath, that is an in and out through the nose breath while constricting your throat on that exhale, especially. Sounds like waves of the ocean. So the Ujjayi breath is great at conserving your power, conserving your energy. So our breath is our life force, our prana, and it holds a lot of power. And so we want to try to conserve that. That's why we hold our breath when you push. So when you're in the pushing stage of labor, you're actually going to you're going to inhale, contraction, and then hold your breath when you push. Gives you more oomph behind your push, more power. So let's stay here for one more breath. And after your exhale, come onto your hands, tap your toes out. And we're going to come back into a seated position. So if you'd like to grab your blanket, you can. Sitting on the edge of your blanket, bringing the soles of your feet together. Same setup we started with here. So put some support underneath your knees. If you would like, you can even go up against a wall or like a couch or anything and really just have or feel supported. We're going to close our eyes, rolling your shoulders back and down. Crown of the head reaching towards the ceiling. Just listen to your breath. Imagine every breath going down to your baby. That life force. Breath. And you can flutter your eyes open. We're going to do one more little stretch before I show you that side lying position that I mentioned before. Just a nice stretch for your arms. Inhale, arms up. And exhale at the top, left hand grabbing your right wrist and leaning over to the left, gazing right. And coming back to center. Releasing your arms, inhale, arms up again. Grabbing your left wrist and exhale over to the right, gazing left. And coming back to center on the exhale. I lied, let's do one more little movement here. Let's bring your right forearm to either your knee or your right thigh and just inhale, left arm up and look up towards your left hand. Nice open twist for your upper back. And release. Left forearm to your leg. Inhale, right arm up. And gaze towards your right hand. And release. And I will do this little setup. So if you have a cushion or a bolster or like a block or anything, that will be all the things that we're going to be using. If you do want to do this in your birth center or your hospital and you happen to have an epidural, you can actually just have a nurse or your partner or friend or whoever hold your leg in this position if you can't feel very well. But one block is going to be on the medium setting, and one block is going to be on the tall setting. Actually, let's try the small setting and the tall setting first. So it's going to be on a diagonal here, like this. And on your left side, I put this way too far up for me. Let me slide it down. On your left side, and you'll keep your legs bent. You can bring your left knee kind of in between the block and the bolster, but so that your leg is kind of going up. And you can lie on your side. And this is a great opportunity for a doula or a partner or friend to do some counter pressure on your low back or a massage. And this is also helping to open up your birth canal, open up your hips. And this is a great position to birth in as well. It allows your tailbone to properly function for birth. Birthing people have a little flap on their tailbone that opens up when you give birth, so it allows the opportunity for that to happen. And if you are in the later stages of your pregnancy, or maybe you're overdue, you might want to just chill here for a little bit. I will invite you to take a nice long shavasana and just let everything sink in. And of course, continuing the visualization practice, really just envisioning all the details of your perfect birth, everything going exactly the way you want it to go, and just ease and confidence and strength, all those things. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time.